Now that you've completed the discussion part of StratPad and you've put your projects and numbers in, you now have the minimum acceptable business plan. That is, you have some narrative, you have some numbers that support that story. You can strengthen your plan by creating specific objectives that are then tracked by you as you move forward. By creating specific objectives, you're telling a potential lender or investor that you're willing to be held accountable. Setting specific measurable objectives also gives you a great way to focus and align your staff and management team around what's really important. Let me walk through an example under objectives. The first thing is, as you click on objectives, you'll see that there is an objectives page for each of the projects that you had set up earlier. Each objective page looks exactly the same. It's divided into 4 areas. These 4 areas are each separate, but from the bottom up, they support the overall objective of your company, which is to be profitable. So the first area is, do you have a way to track the financial benefits to this particular project other than simply revenue or net income? For example, let's say that you wanted to increase the lifetime value of your customer. In other words, you wanted to make sure that each customer was spending as much as possible with your firm. The objective, increase lifetime value. Let's say that you're going to review this monthly. And if you remember from the last lesson, the agendas report suggests meetings to have and agendas or topics in those meetings to discuss. What you choose here, this tells the agendas report which meeting to review this metric. So the objective is increased lifetime value, so let's add a metric. And the metric is, of course, lifetime value. And we want to make sure that the lifetime value exceeds some target value. Let's say that right now your customers, you think, are spending about $350 over the course of their life with you, and you want to increase that to $450, and you want to do that by summer of next year. That's it. Save that objective. You want to increase lifetime value. Make sure it gets to 450 by June 30th of next year. So what should your customers experience from this project? What objectives do you have for your customers that would lead to an increased lifetime value? Well, there's 2 things. The first is, I want to reduce customer turnover. And I'm going to review this monthly. And my metric is going to be churn, call it customer churn. And I want that to be less than 10% by the same time. But I also want to increase my customer satisfaction. I'm going to check on this, let's say weekly. My metric, I'm going to use the Net Promoter Score. And I want to make sure that that exceeds 25 by, let's say, Christmas. But then I want to improve it even further. And I want it to get to exceed 35 by summer. It's all very well and good to say that you want to increase lifetime value and reduce customer turnover. And now under processing technology, we specify what things we need to do internally in order to make that happen. Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to create a new customer-focused service website where customers can come and get answers to their questions, and they can get connected to our service staff directly. This particular metric is I simply want to get this service website up and running. And the last thing that we want to do is we want to train our staff on how to use that website, and maybe we'll want to add some customer service training for our staff. I'm going to check on this monthly, going to add a metric. The metric is just train staff, and we're going to get that done by as quickly as possible, end of October, let's say. Shortly after that, let's say end of November, because we need to have the website up and running in order to be able to train them on it. So what you've now done is you've created a narrative about what you want to do. You've added the numbers and the costs and revenues that you expect to achieve. But now what you're starting to do is flesh out the plan even more. I really want to get my customers happier. I want to get them to spend more, and I need to do these things in order to make that happen. This adds believability to your business plan. Your lenders and potential investors will very much enjoy seeing this. And what it also does is it leads in to execution, to how you're going to manage your business over the course of the next few months. You can see how this comes together in View and Print Your Plan. Starts to add pieces into your Gantt chart, and then in section D, it actually shows you what the objectives are that you're trying to reach and by when. These will also show up in some of your operational reports. Again, your Gantt chart specifically, in your project detail, and in your project plan. And the agendas report starts to fill out with the agenda for each of the weekly and monthly meetings it suggests that you consider. Take some time now and revisit each of your projects and try to come up with one or two objectives that you think will help to tell your story to a potential lender, but that will also help you and your staff reach your business goals in the next few months.